a bone that I have to pick with everyone in America who comes up to me over the last 16 years that I've lived here and said, how do you survive? How does anybody survive in Australia with all your spiders and snakes? And I'm like, I don't understand. This is the opposite.
Few actors reinvent themselves as seamlessly as Yvonne Strahovski, whose striking evolution has captured the attention of fans and critics alike.
You know, I feel confident after, I had this experience.
That's not what you are supposed to do. Your character, you'd probably agree with this, is like one of the most despicable villains.
How does someone go from an Australian dance student and straight-A pupil to an Emmy-nominated star embodying complex, unforgettable roles? Her transformation isn't just about fame or style, it's a deeper journey involving linguistic mastery, intense dedication, and emotional risk-taking. From mastering accents to portraying some of television's most challenging characters, Yvonne's story is one of surprising twists and unwavering commitment that continues to turn heads worldwide. From Sydney to stardom, Yvonne Strahovski's path to international fame began in Sydney, Australia, far from the glamorous stages and studios where she would eventually shine. Born on July 30th, 1982, to Polish immigrant parents, Yvonne grew up as an only child in a household that valued education and culture. She was a straight-A student, someone who took pride in her work and enjoyed the structures school provided. This disciplined approach to learning was one of the early clues to her future success, though it masked the extraordinary journey still to come. At home, Yvonne's connection to her Polish roots was strong. She took weekly Polish lessons every Saturday, speaking it as her first language alongside English. This bilingual upbringing gave her a unique perspective on language and communication that would later play an unexpected role in her career. Holding on to this heritage while navigating Australian life created a blend of cultures that quietly shaped her identity. Even as she left home to pursue acting, she maintained fluency in Polish, a reminder of where she came from amid rising fame. Yvonne's childhood was less about early stardom and more about being a good student and a goody two-shoes, as she described herself. She embraced her nerdy, geeky tendencies and took pride in being well-liked by teachers. There was an earnestness to her youth, a sense of diligence and curiosity that hinted at a deeper ambition. While other kids might have been chasing the spotlight, Yvonne was focused on mastering whatever she did, setting a foundation that few outside her family and close friends could have anticipated. Growing up, Yvonne's interests extended beyond academics. From a young age, she was drawn to the arts, though not initially to acting. She studied dance intensively from the age of 5 through 18, developing a physical grace and a memory for choreography that would later give her a unique edge in her performances. Dance taught her discipline, body control, and an understanding of movement, all crucial tools for the demanding roles she would take on as an actress. Despite her early love for dance, there was another passion simmering beneath the surface. Acting fascinated Yvonne almost obsessively, even if she sometimes doubted her own suitability for the craft. She recalls being the lanky, acne-covered kid who loved clowning around in front of a home video camera. That playful spirit was a seed of her future career, planted early but not fully realized for some time. There was always a sense that acting was inevitable, even if she didn't quite believe it yet. Her parents were cautious about this chosen path, concerned that an acting career wouldn't offer the stability they wanted for their daughter. They urged her instead to consider medicine or law, more conventional routes to success and security. But Yvonne's determination was strong. Once she made up her mind that acting was her calling, her parents came around to support her ambitions. This family dynamic highlighted the tension between security and passion that many artists face, making her eventual leap feel all the more courageous. Yvonne pursued formal training by enrolling in the University of Western Sydney's acting program, dedicating 3 years to studying a curriculum primarily focused on stage work. She has spoken openly about feeling unprepared for the demands of camera acting despite her extensive training. Most of the auditions and casting opportunities she encountered after graduation were for screen roles, revealing a gap between her education and the industry's realities. This mismatch set the stage for some early struggles and accelerated learning once she stepped into professional acting. After graduating, Yvonne juggled odd jobs like ushering at movie theaters and waitressing to make ends meet. She found satisfaction even in these jobs, describing waitressing as a kind of gym workout after a long day. This period of her life was one of perseverance and humility, a reminder that before fame, there was hard work and waiting for the right opportunities. These formative experiences helped shape both her work ethic and grounded personality as she embarked on a demanding career path. While the full extent of her transformation was still ahead, these humble steps marked the beginning of a journey that would ultimately capture international attention. Dance to drama shift. Dance was Yvonne Strahovski's first love in the world of performance, and it shaped much of what she brought to acting later on. Her years of dedicated dance training, from age 5 until 18, provided her with a strong base of physical awareness and discipline that translated seamlessly into her roles. She often credits this background with helping her execute complex fight choreography and movement demands on set with ease. For Yvonne, the fluidity and control learned from dance became an unexpected advantage in her acting career. Her actual transition from dance to acting was gradual, but driven by a growing obsession with storytelling and character exploration. While she loved dance, the desire to inhabit new personas and express deeper emotional narratives called to her more strongly. Choosing acting over dance was a pivotal decision, setting her on a path that would expose a broader range of her talents. This shift also marked the beginning of her transformation from dancer to accomplished actress, capable of commanding intense and layered roles. Yvonne's ability to memorize choreography played a crucial role early on, especially when she was cast in the action spy series Chuck. She has said that remembering fight scenes and stage directions came naturally because of the muscle memory and concentration cultivated through years of dance. Unlike many actors who have to train specifically for physical roles, Yvonne's dance background gave her a head start. It made her more comfortable tackling the physical aspects of her performances and contributed to her reputation as a versatile, dedicated performer. Beyond fight scenes, Yvonne showcased her dancing skills on screen itself, appearing in moments that highlighted her grace and rhythm in shows like Chuck and the Australian series Stateless. These appearances weren't just nods to her past, but demonstrations of how integrated dance remained in her performing style. It added dimension to her characters, allowing her to carry herself with a poise derived from years of discipline. These physical expressions became part of the subtle storytelling that enhanced her screen presence. This fusion of dance and acting also helped Yvonne overcome the early insecurities she faced as a lanky, awkward teenager. Dance gave her confidence in her body and presence, which translated into greater comfort in front of the camera. While she recalls feelings of being a goofy, acne-covered kid, her movement skills allowed her to stand out and take ownership of her performances at a time when she was still finding her footing. The discipline of dance hence served as both training and empowerment. Through dance, Yvonne sort of built this strong work ethic that, once she really went all in on acting, became kind of crucial. The intense training routines, the careful focus on the small details, and the sheer staying power needed for dance classes and rehearsals kind of readied her for the long, demanding hours and the physical stress of film and TV shoots. That early conditioning helped her steer clear of injury and burnout when she had to get through tricky scenes with stunts or choreography, making her a dependable presence on set. And beyond the physical stuff, her background in dance also shaped the way she tells stories. Since dance is a nonverbal art form, she learned how to pass along feelings and even narrative beats through movement and expression alone. That sense then carried over into her acting, so she could deliver roles with more than dialogue, more nuance in her posture and body language. Basically, it stretched her emotional range, and her performances ended up landing harder, more compelling. Her journey from dance to drama set the stage for the crucial skill of language mastery that would soon become another defining characteristic of her evolving career. Language and accent mastery. Yvonne Strahovski's bilingual upbringing played a subtle but vital role in her transformation as an actress capable of crossing cultural and linguistic boundaries. Growing up speaking Polish at home and English outside gave her an early awareness of language's power and nuance. This foundation made it easier for her to adopt other accents and dialects later, a necessary skill for someone working extensively in American television and film. She has said her perfect American accent, which many find flawless, may owe something to her early experience with multiple languages. Mastering different speech patterns and cadences was a natural extension of her bilingualism. This linguistic flexibility opened doors in Hollywood, where most of her roles required her to sound authentically American, a challenge that not all foreign actors manage with ease. Despite living and working primarily in the United States for years, Yvonne retained fluency in Polish and held on tightly to her cultural roots. She never fully shed her first language and regularly spoke it at home. This bilingual balance, rooted in family and identity, kept her grounded, even as she navigated the complexities of international stardom. It also lent her an authenticity and depth that enriched her acting choices. She said that learning to toggle, like really effortlessly, between accents was basically the thing everyone noticed during her auditions and later her performances. At first, she explained that a lot of her roles meant speaking with an American accent, and honestly, she said it felt easier than trying to switch back to her original Australian sound, especially at certain moments. That kind of accent control gave her a professional advantage. She's seen as flexible and easy to sell across all sorts of projects and genres, not just one lane. But the harder part, the comeback thing, was getting her Australian accent back again after years away. When she went on return trips home, it felt awkward and kind of hard to pull off in a convincing way, like the right rhythm just wouldn't show up. And directors would often ask for retakes, because the American tone would sneak in again without her noticing. So it kind of proved how complex the whole linguistic shift really is, and how many quiet sacrifices come with it. Yvonne has described her accent practice as both a technical job and also an emotional exercise, because she has to fully inhabit the character so that the language becomes part of their very identity. That level of immersion, it adds authenticity, and it helps the audience trust her more. Whether she's playing the villain or someone sympathetic and softer, her speech stays so precise that the character feels believable, not just visually convincing. As her language skills grew sharper, Yvonne stepped confidently into the American entertainment scene, ready to take on the challenge that awaited her across the Pacific. Breaking into Hollywood. Yvonne Strahovski's leap from Australian television to Hollywood stardom was swift but far from effortless. Although she had built a solid foundation in her home country, the transition to the American entertainment industry posed new challenges she hadn't fully anticipated. Initially visiting Hollywood for pilot season with some friends, she quickly found an American manager who recognized her potential. This connection acted as a catalyst, fast-tracking her entry into U.S. television and film. In 2007, her career changed dramatically after she received a script for the action spy comedy drama Chuck. At the time, Yvonne was still living in Australia, but within 3 days of returning to America for the audition, she landed the role of Sarah Walker. She fondly calls this her fairy tale story, a near impossible break for many actors. Yet, despite the quick success, she initially expected to return to Australia after filming the pilot. During that first year in the United States, Yvonne lived out of a shoebox studio apartment and survived on rental cars from Hollywood's rental agencies. The uncertainty of this nomadic existence underscored the unpredictability of acting careers, especially for international newcomers. When Chuck was picked up for a full series, she realized she needed to settle down and find a proper home, a sign that her American dream was beginning to solidify. Chuck ran for 5 seasons on NBC from 2007 to 2012, providing Yvonne with a vital platform to showcase her abilities and develop her screen presence. The show blended action, comedy, and drama, and her role demanded both physical stamina and emotional subtlety. It also allowed her to put her dance and choreography skills to use in fight scenes and stunts, setting her apart as a performer capable of handling complex physical demands. Despite the show's success, Yvonne didn't really take her early achievements for granted. She kind of understood that Hollywood was competitive and that keeping a career alive meant constant adaptation, not just luck. After Chuck ended, she worked steadily to diversify her roles and prove she could do more than the spy heroine persona. That grounding in a way made her approach each opportunity with fresh eyes and also with this quiet hunger to evolve. Her next big American breakthrough came in 2012 when she joined the Showtime series Dexter for its final 2 seasons. Playing Hannah McKay, who is deadly, was a noticeable shift from what she'd done earlier. The role displayed a darker, more layered side of Yvonne's talent, letting her bring a seductive yet risky character to life, someone caught in moral ambiguity, and that made everything feel more nuanced. At first, Yvonne wasn't sure how long she would stick around on Dexter. She was, honestly, surprised to find out her character would end up being pivotal to the series' conclusion, like her performance mattered more than she expected. That whole experience boosted her confidence and nudged her toward roles that tested her emotionally and artistically. The emotional depth Yvonne reached in these roles laid the groundwork for what would become the defining performance of her career so far. Defining roles and challenges. Yvonne Strahovski's portrayal of Serena Joy Waterford in Hulu's dystopian drama The Handmaid's Tale stands as a landmark moment in her transformation. Premiering in 2017, this complex role required her to inhabit a character far removed from previous parts, a harsh, unapproachable woman shaped by a brutal world. Yvonne described Serena as someone difficult to relate to, essentially a monster forged by emptiness and survival instinct. Playing Serena was emotionally taxing, as Yvonne had to embody a character with little likability or warmth. She approached the role with care, understanding that beneath the cruelty lay a fragile shell formed by isolation and oppression. This layered portrayal demanded not just acting skill, but emotional resilience, pushing Yvonne into new territories of performance. Her work on The Handmaid's Tale earned critical acclaim and an Emmy nomination for the show's 2nd season, cementing her status as an actress of considerable range and depth. This role expanded perceptions of her work beyond action and physicality, showcasing her ability to convey intricate psychological conflict. Aside from the emotional challenges, Serena's character evolved over the series, becoming increasingly brutal and complex. Yvonne had to navigate these shifts convincingly, ensuring that the character's arc felt authentic rather than exaggerated. This careful calibration highlighted Yvonne's dedication to storytelling integrity and character development. 2017 was a significant year personally as well, as Yvonne married Tim Loden in a low-key ceremony in California. Balancing new marital commitments with a demanding role added another layer to her transformation. Despite the pressures, she maintained focus and enthusiasm, illustrating her ability to integrate personal and professional growth. Yvonne and Tim met in 2010 during his guest role on Chuck, and their relationship blossomed alongside her rising career. They seem to share a supportive partnership that has helped Yvonne navigate the intense demands of fame and motherhood alike. Their connection reveals an anchor behind the scenes of Yvonne's public evolution. In 2018, Yvonne and Tim welcomed their first child, William, marking another milestone within her ongoing transformation. Even while heavily pregnant, she continued to work, mindful of separating the emotional weight of her characters from her personal life. She has spoken about creating a protective bubble during filming to shield her son from the darker energies embodied on screen. Understanding this complexity opens a window into why Yvonne's journey continues to captivate audiences and critics alike. Personal life in the spotlight. As Yvonne Strahovski's star continued to rise, she managed to keep much of her personal life quietly tucked away from the glaring spotlight. This balance became especially important when she married Tim Loden in 2017, a milestone that few outside their circle noticed at first. The couple's low-key ceremony in Paso Robles, California, was a private celebration, revealed only months later by Yvonne herself at the Emmy Awards. Their relationship, which began years earlier on the set of Chuck, blossomed in the background while her career grew in the foreground. Marriage brought a new dimension to Yvonne's life, one that required adjustments beyond just schedule changes. The partnership with Tim proved to be a grounding force amid the pressures of Hollywood. Yvonne often speaks warmly about the support system he provides, not just as a husband, but as a steady presence who understands the unique demands of her profession. This deep personal connection helped her navigate everything from intense film sets to the challenges of becoming a mother. In October 2018, Yvonne and Tim welcomed their first child, a son named William. Announcing the birth on Instagram, Yvonne's joy was clear. Her declaration that her heart had melted into a billion pieces revealed the profound impact motherhood had on her. Despite the exhaustion and unpredictability that come with parenthood, she remained committed to her craft. She even continued working in the lead-up to the birth, balancing professional dedication with growing maternal responsibilities. Motherhood introduced another layer of complexity in how Yvonne approached her roles, especially those with heavy emotional weight like Serena Joy. She has described consciously creating a protective bubble around her pregnancy, envisioning her child safely separated from the darker energies she channeled on set. This mental boundary helped her maintain her emotional health and ensured that her experiences as an actress did not interfere with her life as a mother. After William's birth, Yvonne's husband took on a more active part in helping her come back to work. Tim would often tag along with her to the set, tending to their son so that Yvonne could breastfeed whenever she needed and stay right next to her child. Somehow, this setup let her continue chasing demanding roles without giving up those tender little moments with her family. Their kind of teamwork also highlights how mutual support really matters when you're trying to balance the usually clashing worlds of career and parenting. What's interesting is that Yvonne also mentioned a rather surprising issue during pregnancy. She developed an aversion to her husband's scent. This is something that can happen for many pregnant women, and for a short stretch it made their closeness feel a bit awkward, but it was only one small hurdle among many. She handled it with humor, plus a lot of grace. It shows how private, personal stuff can overlap in unexpected ways with public life, giving that global star a more human, relatable side. Through all of this, Yvonne seems to have embraced change, not just on screen, but also in her daily life as a partner and mother. She moves through her shifting identity with a careful mix of openness and privacy, and that lands well with a lot of viewers. In the end, her journey suggests that personal milestones can actually strengthen an artist's path, not block it, adding more depth to her work and to the way people see her in public. As she honors these intimate parts of life, Yvonne continues to mold her career with the same care and dedication, carrying her transformation forward in every direction. Returning home and reflecting. After years of building her career in the United States, Yvonne Strahovski returned to Australia in 2018 to work on the film Angel of Mine, marking her first project back home in 3 years. The experience of reconnecting with her roots proved both nostalgic and challenging. Surrounded by familiar faces and places, she found herself relearning her Australian accent, a surprising hurdle after spending so much time immersed in American roles. This process underscored the subtle complexities of a life split between continents and cultures. Yvonne has spoken candidly about feeling un-Australian at times, especially when the nuances of her native accent felt foreign after so long abroad. Directors on Angel of Mine would often ask for retakes because traces of her perfected American tone slipped through unintentionally. This difficulty in returning to her linguistic beginnings highlights how deeply transformative her career journey has been, shaping not only her craft, but her very voice. The Australian film was a chance not only to reconnect linguistically, but emotionally as well. Working with a local crew and friends helped Yvonne feel grounded, bringing authenticity to both her performance and her experience. It was a moment of reflection, bridging the gap between past and present, south and north, private life and public career. In these moments, Yvonne seemed to embrace the fullness of her identity without the pressure of cultural expectations. This return also symbolized a broader willingness to confront change head-on rather than avoid it. Whether grappling with accent or mindset, Yvonne approached the challenge with humility and professionalism. She didn't shy away from honest acknowledgement of feeling out of place, instead using it as motivation to adapt and grow. This flexibility and self-awareness are hallmarks of her ongoing transformation. Her time back in Australia also kind of offered different storytelling chances, like her role in the miniseries Stateless, which dealt with heavy social themes around immigration detention. The whole project put Yvonne face-to-face with real refugees, and it widened her view of hardship and resilience in a more direct way. That kind of exposure didn't just spark artistic energy. It also created a deeper bond with narratives that stretch past her personal experience somehow. Yvonne has talked about the emotional impact of meeting people who had actually endured those struggles as eye-opening, and you can almost hear it in the way she describes the tears and the histories loaded with pain and hope. This intense journey strengthened her ability to bring empathy and more texture to the parts she plays. It showed how stepping outside familiar spaces can nudge both artistic growth and personal reflection at the same time, rather quietly. Coming Home Again also asked Yvonne to reconcile the dual sides within her identity, not just Australian or American, but this in-between blend of both, shaped by family roots, language, and the career decisions she made over time. That reconciliation is still going, and it keeps echoing the broader theme of transformation that really seems to run through much of her life. It's basically a reminder of how identity can feel fluid in a globalized world. Her journey is as much about looking inward as stepping onto new stages, proving that transformation is a dynamic, lifelong process. Continuing influence and future endeavors. Yvonne Strahovski's career shows no signs of slowing down as she continues to embrace roles that challenge and expand her artistic range. Following her powerful turns in series like The Handmaid's Tale and Stateless, she has demonstrated a commitment to projects that combine entertainment with meaningful storytelling. This blend of compelling content and complex characters keeps her in high demand and highlights her evolution from a rising star to a respected force in the industry. Her ability to shift effortlessly between genres remains one of her key strengths. Whether starring in intense dramas, action-packed thrillers, or emotionally layered narratives, Yvonne brings a grounded authenticity that resonates with audiences worldwide. This professional versatility not only broadens her portfolio, but also speaks to a deliberate desire to avoid typecasting, ensuring her transformation continues in fresh and unexpected directions. Recent years have seen Yvonne return to Australian projects as well, signaling a desire to maintain ties with her roots even as her global presence expands. Balancing work between the United States and Australia allows her to navigate different storytelling cultures and creative environments. This ongoing connection to her homeland enriches her perspective and infuses her performances with a unique depth rooted in her multicultural background. Behind the scenes, Yvonne is also becoming known for her thoughtful approach to the characters she chooses. She often seeks roles that present moral complexities or social relevance, reflecting an artist invested not only in her craft, but in what stories say about the world. This purposeful selection process contributes to her growing reputation as an actress willing to take risks for the sake of authenticity and impact. Audiences and critics alike seem to see that Yvonne has handled her career path with a kind of maturity. She blends discipline, which was honed over years of training and lived experience, with a natural curiosity that keeps nudging her into continual growth. Somehow that mix has shown up as a career with steady progress, not a bunch of flashy breaks, and her evolution feels more genuine and steady, not forced. In terms of what comes next, Yvonne has said she's excited about new creative routes. That might include stepping into production or taking a deeper seat in storytelling beyond just acting. That forward-leaning mindset suggests she wants to shape more than her roles. She wants to shape the projects too, which adds another layer to her unfolding trajectory. And as she keeps growing, she stays receptive to learning and adjusting those traits that really help her stay relevant over the long haul. Her bond with fans also shows the more personal, human side of her influence. Through considerate social media engagement and appearances in public spaces, Yvonne shares little windows into her day-to-day life and her values. This kind of openness builds a real connection. It helps humanize the star behind the characters, so her changes feel relatable, not distant or like a distant headline. Yvonne Strahovski's transformation from a disciplined student in Australia to an Emmy-nominated international star is truly inspiring. Her journey reminds us that talent combined with hard work, adaptability, and authenticity creates enduring success. If you enjoyed this look at Yvonne's incredible evolution, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more stories about your favorite stars. Don't forget to hit the bell so you never miss an update.